In today's lesson, I'm going to show you how to play 5 different blues turnarounds in the key of E using just a few left-hand shapes. This is going to add richness and complexity to your playing, but it's actually very easy to do. Let's get started. Alrighty, thank you so much for tuning in to today's lesson on blues turnarounds. I think you're really going to enjoy this. Before we get started, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell so that you will become aware of my future uploads. I don't want you to miss anything. Now, all of the examples that I'm going to show you in this video are available in a free PDF. So go ahead, click in the description where it says free PDF, and the PDF will be delivered to you right away. Okay, so let's get right into the turnarounds, the blues turnarounds. What is a blues turnaround? It's generally thought of as a figure that happens at the end of a 12-bar blues that gets us back into bar 1. Let me demonstrate one for you. So if we're on a B7 chord in the blues, so this thing, and that gets us back into bar 1. That's the turnaround. The first thing that you have to realize is it's actually not based on chords. It's based on melody lines. Let's first look at the bass line. You're going to play open E, then you're going to play the 4th fret with your 3rd finger, then you're going to play open A, 5th string, then you're going to play the 1st fret, and then you're going to play the 2nd fret. So if we play that like a walking bass line, it sounds like this. 1 and 2, and ready, and. Okay? That's the left hand of the piano. That's how you can think of that. Now, next melody, we're going to start on it's the high melody. We're going to start on the open E string, and we're going to go to the 2nd string, 3rd fret. You can actually play that with your 2nd finger. I'll show you why in a minute. Then you're going to come down to the 2nd fret, then down to the 1st fret, then open. So that's going to sound like this. 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now with those 2 melodies, you're ready to learn turnaround number 1. Turnaround number 1 is the simplest version of this. We're going to play the 2 melodies at the same time, but they're going to look like little shapes that we have to play with our left hand. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to just play the shapes real slow. First is just the outer open strings. Then the next, you're going to use 2nd and 3rd finger on the 6th string and the 2nd string. Then you're going to let go of the 3rd finger, come down with your 2nd finger, open 5th string. Then bring the 2nd finger down, use your 1st finger, 1st fret, 5th string. And then we've got the 5th string and the 2nd string, 5th string, 2nd fret. Now, what makes this sound so cool is actually a trick from good old Johann Sebastian Bach. It's called contrary motion. Yeah. One melody is going up, and at the same time, another melody is coming down. And when our brain hears these melodies going in opposite directions at the same time, it creates a very expansive musical effect. That's one of the main tools of Johann Sebastian Bach and other great composers. Now let me show you what I added there on the end. I'm doing a 3-note B7 chord, and I'm just sliding that up, and I'm letting the open strings on the top ring. Turnaround number 2, adding the E string. All right, so now that we've got the basic skeleton with the 2 melody lines, we're just going to thicken up the sound of these lines so that they actually start sounding like chords. So we're going to take the first thing that we did and we're going to add an open E string over the top of all the chords. Okay, the first one starts on an open E, so we don't need to put anything there. But then when we get to the next shape, we're going to do this. So it's the 2 notes plus an open E string. Then so now we have 3 voices weaving in and out of each other. So we're going to take these shapes and we're going to arpeggiate them like triplets. This is turnaround number 2. So it's going to sound like this. Let's say we're in a blues. Here we go. See what I did? And I'm just going thumb, middle, index for all of these. Okay, so another thing I'd like to show you is for those last chords, instead of just doing 3 fingers, I added my pinky on the top string. And it has a little bit of a weird bite on that one, but it's okay because it's bluesy. It should be a little dirty and moving around. Turnaround number 3, adding variation. In this next turnaround, we're going to just do a slight melody variation on what we just did. So if you've got the left hand shapes, this is going to be pretty easy for you. We're going to start again with the 2 open strings, but when we go to this shape, the first shape, we're going to play thumb and index together, then the E string all by itself, and then another index finger. So that we're going to play that like a triplet. Then we're going to do the same thing with the next shape, then the next shape, and then, so up to tempo, that's going to sound like this. 1, 2, ready, and. Turnaround number 4, adding the G string. In this turnaround, we're really going to start to fatten up the sound. Everything's going to appear to be a 4-note chord, but if you'll recall, it's all based on those first 2 melodies that we learned. Let's take a look at the chord shapes. The first chord, you're going to play your first finger on the 3rd string, 1st fret, but with the right hand, you're going to use your index, middle, and ring finger on the top 3 strings. So the 4 notes you're going to play for the first chord are this. Okay, so we're playing the 6th string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string. Now the next shape, you're going to play your 3rd finger on the 4th fret, 6th string, 2nd finger on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, and you're going to sneak your pinky in on the 4th fret, 3rd string. The notes are going to sound like this. Okay. Then you're going to let go of everything except your 2nd finger, move it back. You're going to play 3 strings open, except for the B string is going to be fretted at the 2nd fret. Then you're going to come down to here. And then you're going to go here. Looks like an E7 chord, but you're going to play the B in the bass. So I'll play these shapes for you one more time. Now remember, our voices with the 2 directions are built now into the middle of that, but we're fleshing it out. Now something that I like to do, you don't have to do this Because I don't use fingernails, very often like a bass player, I will use the flesh of my finger to play more than one string. So I'm using just my index finger, but I'm getting the second and third string. And so you can do it however it's technically comfortable for you. But now check this turnaround out. It's going to use these 4-note chords where we've got the G and the E string going. I'm going to play this for you really slowly, okay? A 1, 2, 3, and... So it sounds almost like the previous turnaround, but I'm dragging my index finger and making it sloppier, but it sounds good because all the notes fit together as chords. Turnaround number 5, adding the D string. On this last turnaround, we're going to fatten up the chords to the max. We're going to get as many strings going as possible to fatten the sound up. Let me show you what these chord shapes are going to look like. Now the first one is the exception. We're going to use all 6 strings. It's going to look like a straight up E7 chord. Okay. Now the next one, we're going to go to the shape that we just had previously. We're going to add the first finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. Now, with the 3rd finger, we're probably and hopefully muting the A string. So if we were to strum, we're just hearing 5 strings. Next, we're going to go do an A7 chord, top 5 strings. And it would be helpful in this one if actually you can play that with your 3rd and your 4th finger. Okay? Next chord, all you're going to do is put your first finger down. That's called B flat diminished. This is a slight variation from what we've been doing, because we've been going, but now we're going. Also works. So this, so far, with these chords is going to sound like this. And then you're going to do an E chord or an E7 chord with B in the bass. Now a 5-note chord doesn't necessarily lend itself to a finger picking thing for me because I'm usually only playing 3 or 4 notes at a time. But it's very useful if you're strumming. For example, because you can be totally sloppy, even play aggressive with a pick, all the strings are going to sound good. So there you have it. Those are the 5 blues turnarounds in the key of E. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson. Be sure to grab that free PDF. The link is below. And practice hard, groove on, and I'll see you in the next lesson. God bless.